Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm here with Mehdi with Somm.ai, and he's got a great presentation today that will really allow you some great insights into on-premise placement. So I'm going to turn it over to Mehdi to introduce himself. And like I mentioned, this is being recorded so that we can share it with our SCION network. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask those along the way so we can really have an interactive program, and Mehdi's really open to that. So Mehdi, take it away.
All right, great. Thank you, Tracy. So, hi everyone. For today, we have a presentation of Somm.ai. The purpose of this is to give you an overall picture of the platform capabilities and how our current customers use it to basically support their on-premise growth. So first, I want to start with a company introduction, and then we're gonna dive into the demo where I can share different use cases. So the company was founded in 2019 in New York by David Kong, he's a software engineer and very passionate about wine. He also have a stemware company called Glasvin. And basically, the idea was to build a platform to gather any available data regarding the on-premise market, which is mostly wine, but also spirits. So he noticed there is a gap and also some challenges for all kinds of wineries, no matter their size, whether small or big, to basically find qualified leads, targeted accounts, and also to benchmark competition in terms of placements, in terms of pricing, and what markets are growing in terms of, like, for example, East Coast versus West Coast, appellations, all that, these kind of questions. So basically, lack of data and lack of data-driven decisions in this market. So to compare with other software that was that's available in the market, we are not a competitor of VIP or Wine Metrics, Wine Services, and Nielsen. Those solutions provide different kind of information, whether it's towards on-premise market. For example, our database is updated several times a month. So you kind of get a sort of real-time information on what's going on. You can research any brand, any account in all markets, while, for example, Nielsen or VIP, you can only see where your brand is present. So that's what we mean by account universe. And yeah, like I said, you can look up any competitor, any wine brand. So all data is accessible to anyone using the platform. So that's a huge difference in terms of what we provide. Okay, and basically the logic behind this is we developed algorithms that crawl the internet, and we pull informations from menus, PDFs or websites, and we structure this data, we clean it up to make it very easy and convenient to access and do some specific queries for this business intelligence kind of purposes. And I will show you live what I mean by this. In terms of, again, the scale of this, we have more than 40,000 accounts in the US. That was like number a year ago. For now, maybe we have 10 or 20% more. We're constantly growing. We are also developing European markets, Canada and UK. So you can look up, how California wines are performing in Canadian market, for example, or these kind of questions to support an export strategy, for example. And yeah, as of today, the platform is used by the top 4 producers in the US: Jackson Family Wines, Gallo, Perlato, Delicato, Silver Oak. Some of STV members have been using the platform for more than, I believe, 2 years or so. So they can see the value of this data. And yeah, the purpose is really to give access, again, whether that doesn't matter if it's a small winery, big distributor, importer, different players in this industry can leverage this data for different questions. All right. So now I'm going to move to the demo part. So once you log in the platform, this is the first interface you have, this dashboard. Here you can notice I have my own brands, and it's an important information to keep in mind because we're going to use it for a feature. So I have Paul Hubs, Cross Barn, Jacobian Hubs, Vineyard. These are like in my setup. And for example, if you're the account manager, let's say of Campo Viejo, you will have Campo Viejo in your brand setup. Then the market. So now I am looking at the data in the whole US, and here in this little toggle feature, if you want to focus on a specific state or zip code or city, you can just select it, DC, I don't know, Colorado, etc. I'll show you how that can be leveraged afterward. Then we have a couple features here. If I have any saved searches with my filters, leads, this market analysis, and notification. So let's start with a high-level use case where I want to benchmark this brand Kenwood. Okay. So if I type Kenwood, the system automatically will generate some SKUs. It recognizes in the database, and I can also see here brand Kenwood, where I can pull all information, all the cuvées in the market, right? So here I have a list of their most popular cuvées, right? And then what I can filter further, or I can dive deep in their business using the market analysis feature here. So a little click, everything is internet based. Depending on your internet connection, it can be super fast or super slow. So that's something to keep in mind. I want to see for example, their top distributors across the US with most accounts, RNDC, Breakthrough Beverage, etc. Placement, kind of the same. And then if I click on this little plus icon, I can check the distribution per state. So RNDC are mostly in Texas, Virginia, Georgia. That's good to know, for example. If I want to look up for example, their vintages, what are the most popular vintages in terms of placements, 2018, 17, and what kind of accounts this brand is mostly targeting. So $2 signs and then $3 signs. Okay, that's over the whole US. Now, if I want to see what they're doing, for example, in California, I'm just going to select CA here and then go back to, let's say, for example, cuvées. Okay, well, I can see what are their most popular cuvées in California, what are their top placements per account. We have Papillon, Cremant, SCION, taste, all that stuff, etc., etc. Okay. Now, if I want to push this a little bit further, and I believe that my wine or my cuvées are kind of similar to this brand, I can go to this target on premise account feature. I'm looking only in California here, right? So I still have this filter, and automatically I have a list of all their accounts, and it is ranked by relevancy. Okay, so in one click I can download the spreadsheets, and I have here the restaurant name, the city, zip code, whatever. And this is also very important information if this account is a client of mine currently or in the past. So I can filter here on this column, age. So for example, if I'm already there, I don't want to focus on that. I just want to look at the accounts that I'm not present yet, and then I can easily filter and target them and send them to my sales reps or my distributor. Okay, that's a quick example or use case. Now let's go back to this initial view of Cuvée. We have another feature that's super useful to kind of narrow down the vision and target things more closely. You notice in this little part here, I have see your brands or all. So when I click in this little radar, one click comp set, the system will automatically filter by the criteria on that wine, and it's going to give me the closest cuvées. So I'm looking in $32 to $49 in California, Champagne blend. And here again, if I go to target on premise accounts, I will have a different list where potentially I will see if some of the accounts with a check mark where I'm present. So yeah, different questions or different ways to get different information. Let's go back to I'm going to clear all the filters, go back home. Any questions so far? I guess not. There's nothing popping in the chat, Tracy.
No, doesn't look like
Okay.
any questions.
Okay, cool. Now let's do some research on, for example, by appellation. I'm gonna look up across the whole US market, and I'm gonna use these filters here. So Appellation Alexander Valley, for example. I want to see just red wines and maybe, I don't know, let's keep the vintage open for now. But you can see here I can filter by vintage, price range, distributor. And again, I'm going to go to market analysis. In a couple of clicks, I can see the top suppliers or producers for this appellation, Alexander Valley, across the US by placement. Here I have the top 10. If I want to push it further, I can see the top 20, 30, etc. And at any given point, all this data can be downloaded in a spreadsheet for further analysis or exports or however you want to use the data for your own purposes. Next, I can see, for example, where is the appellation the most popular in terms of states. Well, logically in California, then Texas, Florida, New York. This is by placement. If I want to look where the Appellation is the fastest growing in terms of net changes, well, Colorado we have fewer placements, but it's growing much faster than, let's say, New York or California. So that's an important information to keep in mind. For example, if you have a meeting with your distributor in Colorado and you supply in your portfolio, you have red wine from Alexander Valley appellation, then you can leverage this data to, for example, I can dive deep in here and see what are the top cuvées in Colorado. I mean, Jordan Vineyard, they have 200 placements, and this is the average price for a bottle on the list, $125. This is an estimation of by the glass, $25. And yeah, again, the change in the growth, or in the opposite, if someone is losing placement, I can see a pretty high change, negative change here, -50%. It could be a supply issue. It could be, I don't know, logistical issues, for example, to kind of find this opportunity and get placements for your wine. We can look at Colorado most popular vintages, still red wine, Alexander Valley, 2018, 2017, the most growing one. So 2010, 25% growth over the last year. And you can change this data if you want to look for, let's say, narrow it down to the previous month. If I click on 30 days, well, now I'm looking at what's going on in the market only in the past month. So you'll have, smaller changes, but also kind of indicators and trends or opportunities. Okay. Yeah, we looked at something that could be also interesting if you guys are targeting large restaurant groups. Here, over the past year, these are the top restaurant groups that are selling Alexander Valley red wine. Chart House, Cameron Mitchell restaurants. So again, super targeted approach, super relevant information to kind of challenge your distributor or have a pretty precise strategy for your go to market. Any questions or any other clarifications or something you want to see here? But again, many features, many ways to segment the data. Please do not hesitate if you have something specific in mind that I can show you here.
I don't see any questions in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
But you gave us a lot of information. There's got to be some sort of questions.
Mm-hmm. I know it can be a little bit overwhelming in the beginning to grasp the all this kind of features. Let me show you something else. Oh, there's something in the chat. Sorry. How are you mining the data? Okay. Yeah. Question by Dave. So we have algorithms that prowl the internet, and we pull all this information from the menus available online, and then we clean them up, structure them in our database to be able to do these queries. And I can show you an example of if you want to double check the accuracy of of this information, I'm going to take the example of Kenwood. Let's say, all right. So this cuvee is available at, I'm just going to take first one. Let me go back. There's another question. Last time I checked, it's updating twice a month. And let's see. Yes, that's a very good question by Joanna. Yeah, you can see how fresh the data is. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to answer two questions over here. So each account has its dedicated page, the River Cafe Brooklyn, where, so well, it's not the best example, but you have the information of this list was updated 85 days ago. Okay, you can see very quickly what regions, what wines they carry in their list, mostly French, then American, Italy, Spain. Okay, now in terms of where the data is coming from, if I go to directory, it's basically all the wines on the list. Rosé Spikeman up. I click on this arrow that was published in 2019. Not the best example. Let me go back. All right. Need something fresher. Look at California. Okay. Let's look there. There you go. So from this arrow, every SKU or item on the menu is tied to a PDF or a web page where you have, you know, the SKU, the producer, the price, if it's glass or bottle, and yeah, that's an example to, you know, if you have a doubt or you see something odd, you can always double check the accuracy of that. Hopefully that answers both questions, I believe. Let's see. Yeah. So for Dave, that's how we mine the data, and for Joanna, for each account, you can see how fresh the list is and when it was updated. And you can also go further in this notification. You can see what changes they did. For example, here you can price change on the Chardonnay. It went from 934 to 1245. It went, if you want to see what they removed, you can only look items deleted. If you want to focus on what they added, etc., etc. Okay, let me see the other questions.
Couple more.
For us, yep, I will probably be able. Who's using your software? Okay, so quick answer for this for Dave. The platform is, like I said, is used by the top 4 suppliers in the US, Gallo, Perlato, Dedicato, Silver Oak, Jackson family wines. We also have some distributors. I don't have specific names, but I can provide that later. But yeah, mostly suppliers, because this data is we believe is so valuable in terms of how you could price your wines in different markets, in terms of identifying trends, and then build your strategy and have constructive conversations with your distributors, because distributors carry a lot of brands and a lot of wines, so they don't necessarily have all enough bandwidth to kind of build custom strategy for each of their suppliers. So yeah, ultimately the responsibility or most of the value for the data would be on the supplier side. I hope that answers your question, Dave. Okay, let's try to see. So Fourth Raw Seaview is an appellation. Is that correct? I'm not super familiar with.
Yes, it is it's a little appellation. I was just curious the level of detail this goes into.
Sure. All right, let's try this. I'm gonna look up all the US and let's use the filters in market analysis. So it should be here. Fourth loss. Oh, there you go. Fourth Raw Seaview. Overall, right? I'm not filtering by wine type or grape or right. I'm just gonna keep it open. Then, well, quickly, it says that Wayfarer Chardonnay is the most popular, or like it's 145 accounts in the US. Peter Michael Pinot Noir, 92 accounts. Okay. We have let's look at the top producers in terms of placement. Again, Wayfarer, Ryan Winery, Fort Ross. In terms of growth, Rame, I'm not sure I pronounced this correctly. They're growing 20% over the last year. Viola. Now, if we look at the distributors pushing this the most or most placements, Southern Glazers, RNDC, Chambers and Chambers. Okay, have more. In terms of geographic footprint, California has the most placements, New York, Texas, Florida, Illinois, etc. I can show all 50 states. If we're looking in terms of growth, well, we see this, I mean, there's one placement only. Tennessee, 8th placement, growing 25%. Florida, yeah. If I dive here, you can focus on, you can see the distributors in Florida for the specific appellation. Okay. Vintages, 2018 is the most popular. And what else we can check? Price range of accounts, $3 sign, $4 sign. Oh,
wow.
Does that answer the question or?
I think I'm in love.
Or provide? Yeah, I mean, it just, the data
it's
is
fascinating
available
to be able to
and
benchmark like that and also see
yeah,
details beneath it.
right. And it just, depending on what I think the most important part of the process is the question,
Yeah.
First, what are you trying to figure out? What are you trying to answer? And then this is just, you play and segment the data in different ways to have that.
I mean, there's your competitive set. it sort of takes all the guesswork right out of that.
Exactly.
It's amazing.
Exactly. And it speed up the process again, whether you're trying to find relevant accounts in a new market. You just, let's say you want to go to Austin and you've never been there, but you have a very direct competitor who's in there. So you just enter the SKU, put the accounts where they're present, and then you have the list. That's it. It takes you 2 minutes. You don't have to spend hours researching and for that.
So Mehdi, it looks like
Yep.
Dave has another question about the subscription.
Oh, sure.
And coupled with that, what comes along with the subscription in terms of training? Because this is so detailed. What kind of support does that offer?
Yeah. Okay, so that was, I don't see this. This is updated, right? In the chat. Okay. What types of subscription we offer, what type of support and training, right?
Yes. David asked, how much is a subscription? Is
Sure.
there a discount for our members? And then I followed up with what type of training and support do you offer?
So for SCV members, what we were thinking is to offer like a month to discover the platform. And in terms of pricing, it basically depends on the size of the winery. Like for example, our pricing for Gallo and their users and all the stuff is obviously super different from a winery that has, I don't know, like a couple thousand cases production. So yeah, it just depends on the production scale. I'm happy to provide specific quotes for anyone interested after the webinar. And then, yes, we provide training for the initial onboarding, and we also provide support, ongoing support, whether you have a very specific question that you don't necessarily know how to answer using the platform. Again, it takes time to use the full potential of it. So we can build custom reports for you. We can answer specific questions for you by email. We have a live chat here where you can directly have a connection with our support. So, and we also have a help center with a ton of videos and information regarding different aspects and features of the platform. So here I can go to Help Center. So you have from basic to advanced, different tutorials, how to, let's say, example, I was talking about creating lists of targeted accounts. We have a simple version, advanced version, both screenshot videos. So yeah, that's also a very good resource for people to answer some questions.
Do we have any other questions that Mehdi can answer this morning? No? Well,
was it clear? Was it helpful?
You offered a lot of information, and I think the platform's amazing for suppliers, wineries, vintners to leverage all that sales data and learn about their competition and really target their sales strategy.
Sure. Yeah, for Dave, I'll send you an email with to get access to get the month trial after the webinar. And yeah, I'm curious, the participants, wineries today, do you guys use any of the other tools that we discussed earlier, like VIP, Nielsen, or any other software to get any sort of data on the market? Okay, VIP, yeah, that's like I was saying, it's complementary. Mhm. Okay. Yeah, most I mean all of our clients use VIP because it just provides uh, different information and data. And Nielsen, okay, okay, great. Yeah, if it's clear and there are no other questions, I will follow up with you guys by email, and yeah, I'm happy to discuss this further and see if we can help you with your own challenges. Don't seem too open to target. What do you mean by that, Joanna?
Let's see. You can create a strategy and talk about where your competition is to your distributors,
Hmm.
but they, at least the ones we're working with, most of them are very hesitant. In the olden days, you could hand someone a target list and, they would potentially with an incentive, track it, really go after those target lists to create the relationship that the supplier really wanted. But when you're a small winery these days, they're just not open to target lists as a directive necessarily.
Right.
They used to be, but you can, I think showing them where your competition is and where the doors might be open and warm is amazing. But they're just, I can't seem to get them to really go after target lists or track them the way they used to.
Right. Yeah, I see.
That's all. It would be, we can do it ourselves. It's a DIY anyway, but I love all this information. It's incredible.
Yeah, and also, you can see your market share, you can see your pricing. I think it just, again, depending on where you are in each market, you'll have different challenges, and they also will have different challenges. Like if you want to, I don't know, go after buy the glass placements, then of course you will have that information and adjust your pricing and incentives accordingly, right?
Yeah, that's
So,
great.
but at the end of the day, they wanna move product. You want to move product, so it's for everyone interest to have like an alignment on this.
It's a great reality check too. If you want
Yeah,
to
for
set a
sure.
high by the glass price point, how many accounts are really have a
Yep.
$25, $30 Pinot, so you can
Hmm.
be realistic when setting things up. I think it's a, looks like, I feel like I'm advertising for you. But I think there's a lot of
Yeah,
things
yeah, yeah. I mean,
you can do it.
for
That's a
sure. And you know the use cases and the issues and the problems better than us. I mean, we're tech people, you know what I mean? Um, I you guys know the market and the industry better than us. So like, yeah, Dave is saying this could be useful for business reviews, right, with distributors. And again, you gotta challenge them. There are a lot of distributors out there, and some of them are more relevant or perform better than others. So you don't want to be stuck with someone who's not moving your product at the end of the day. If they're pricing it too high or too low, then yeah, that's an issue.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, if there's not any other questions, we can conclude this part of it, and Mehdi can follow up with everybody individually and offer you
Yep.
some more detailed information.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Totally.
Great.
Well,
Well, thank you
again,
everybody for joining today.
thank you. Thank you all,
Thank
and
you.
Thank
talk
you.
soon. Bye-bye.
All right. Have a good day.
Take care.